Hey guys, it's Miss Marilise. I miss you all so much. I miss having our art classes. I miss seeing all the beautiful things you guys can create. And so I figured that I would do a video. And normally for the very first class that we always have, I like to talk about making art mistakes. Because a lot of times when we create, we have a snapshot idea in our head of how we want it to be. Even the most talented of artists, they have their idea of how they want it to be. But usually it doesn't turn out that way. And so when you've been in my art class, you know that I have my pencils. And what do I do to my pencils? Guys, will you tell your family what I do to my pencils? I cut the erasers off. No erasers. Why? So, as I talked about, when we create something, usually we have an idea of how we want it to go. But most of the time, does it go that way? Nope. Just like life. Sometimes we think things are going to go a certain way, and then what happens? It takes a left turn. So that is where we use our creative muscles, our creative juice. So I cut the erasers because I want you guys to commit to what you've made and use your imagination to turn it into something you didn't even think could be. And it usually turns out even better. So with that being said, I have this book that I read all the time for my very first class. Now, a lot of you have already remembered me reading this book, and you might already remember what's going to happen inside, but try to make it a surprise for your family that's watching it with you. And if you don't remember, even better, try to see if you can think of something different. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start reading. It's called Beautiful Oops. That's the title of the book, and it's written by Barney Saltzberg. It's one of my favorite books. And I'm telling you, it can go for ages from little to really, really, really grown-ups. Okay, here we go. Beautiful Oops. You see that little alligator? Okay. Uh-oh. Oops. What happened here? It's a torn piece of paper. Have you ever torn a piece of paper by accident before? I have. So, look at this line. Look at that torn piece of paper. What do you think you can turn this into? Now remember guys, some of you guys that read this with me know what is going to happen. But let's see if you can think of a different thing that it can turn into. Okay. Could it be, an animal slithering up? Could it be a hill climbing up? Let's see what they turned it into. Ready? What did they turn it into? It's a mouth of, what is that? An alligator? A crocodile? What do you guys think? So, a torn piece of paper is just the beginning. All right, I'm getting excited. Let's see what's next. Every spill. So, I think we've all had an accident and spilled our cup. Sometimes with water, sometimes with milk, sometimes with paint. Can we clean it up? Of course we can. So, let's look at this. What does that spill look like? First of all, what color is it? It's purple. One of my favorite colors. So, look at the outline. Does it look like anything to you? Remember, you're using your imagination and your creativity. There's no right or wrong. The person next to you can be saying something totally different. Doesn't mean they're wrong. That's what they see. Okay, let's see what they turned it into. Ready? Okay, so hold on. This was just one big blob. Then they added lots and lots of lines. Let's look closer. What do you see? Look at this guy right here. What does that look like? I think it looks like a dog to me. And look at these little guys. Little puppies. This one looks interesting. He has a long snout. He looks sleepy. What about this one down here? That looks like a puppy. And right over here, a little puppy's face. So, this one, what do you guys see in it? It looks like a bunch of puppies and some bigger dogs. All right, what else do we have? Okay, over here. So look at the difference. Here they did lots of little lines I see dogs, I see puppies. And this one, they kind of did the outline of it. A few little lines here and a bunch of little lines here. So let's look closer. What does it look like to you? Some kind of bird, huh? There's beaks. There's a wing. What does he have in his beak? Looks like a worm saying, no, don't feed me to them. And look, there's a bunch of hungry little, what, babies with their little beaks open. Cheep, 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 cheep. But you know what I just noticed? Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait a minute. I have read this book so many times. How is it that I'm just noticing this? Do you see that? Do you see that? The whiskers, the ears, the eyes. What did we just celebrate? Easter. What does that look like to you? I think I see a bunny. I see a bunny amongst all those little baby birds. So this is what I mean. You can look at something so many times, and every time you see something different. Started with this, turned into a bunch of little dogs and puppies. Then maybe the mama bird feeding the baby birds, and that little rabbit hiding in there. I see you, bunny. Oh, now what? All they did now is outline or contoured the shape. What does it look like to you? Let's see. There's a long trunk. There's a short little tail. There's some big feet and a floppy ear. Could it be, what do you think? An elephant? So look at that. From that one spill, we came up with so many different possibilities. Every spill has lots and lots of possibilities. All right, let's see what's next. Bent paper. Okay, so time out. When we are reading a book, it's very important that we take care of our books and that we don't bend the papers. With that being said, when you have a piece of paper that you're creating on, sometimes we accidentally bend it or crinkle it. So, with this bent piece of paper, it looks like, what shape is that? It has 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, triangle. So what do you think they can do with this bent triangle piece of paper? Let's see. What did they do? What part of the body is this? They turned that bent piece of paper into a penguin's head. Isn't that cute? Then they added another penguin and a baby penguin to make a penguin family. What a cool idea. A bent piece of paper is something to celebrate. All right, let's keep going. A little drip of paint. So, usually when we have class and we have our paintbrush, I say what? Wipe it on the side so it doesn't drip. But sometimes we get really excited and we have drips. So let's look at these drips. I see 3 drips. What color are they? Purple, my favorite color. All right, these 2 kind of look circle-ish. And this one looks very interesting. What do you guys see? What could you turn these 3 drops into? Remember, use your imagination. There's no right or wrong, and you can all come up with different ideas. So, let's see what they turned it into, okay? A little drip lets your imagination run wild. So, look, these 2 drips turned into what? The wheels of a car. And then this one, what'd that turn into? A little piglet. Look at him. He's making little marks as he's covered in paint. And what's this piglet doing in the car? Looks like he's waving. He's like, see ya. You can't get in my car. You're full of paint. What did you guys think of? All right, let's keep going. Okay. A scrap of paper. So some of you guys might not recognize this because we don't have it so much now. But if you do, usually it's thrown on your sidewalk. It's called newspaper. And you see it's printed in black and white on a thinner piece of paper. See that? With lots of little writing on it. So this is torn. Does it look like it was cut with scissors? No. See how there's all those rough edges? So let's use our imagination. I'm gonna flip it this way. What could they turn that into? See that? Look at those lines. Sometimes I feel that if we look at it a different way, we can see something else. So let's look at it this way. Ooh, you know what I see here? I think it could look like a mountain. What do you guys see? How about this way? Does it look like anything there? Okay, let's flip it totally upside down. What about there? You know what? I think maybe that could be the beginning of one mountain and the beginning of another little hill. Let's see what they turned it into. Are you ready? Oh, look at that. They use those rough edges to turn it into what? The profile of a doggy. So a profile is what? It's when you turn your face to the side and you see the profile. So there's his muzzle, there's his little nose. I'm gonna boop his nose. Boop. There's his mouth, his smile. They added the floppy ear. Does he look like a happy puppy? So a torn piece of paper can be fun to play with. Okay, here we go. A smudge and a smear. So when you guys are writing or coloring with markers or painting and you have your hand here and you're painting around, what can happen? It can smear, it can smudge. So I'm going to talk about a couple things here. What colors do you see? I actually see here a lot of colors in the background. You see the background? You see those trees? What colors do you see in those trees? I see yellow. I see, what color is that? Green. And this smudge over here is what? What color is it? Blue. So we're going to talk a little bit about the color family. The primary colors are the very first family. They're made of 3 colors: blue, yellow, and it's not pictured here, but actually, hold on. Not really, red. So primary colors are colors that you can't mix to create that color. So you can't mix any colors together to make yellow. You can't mix any colors to make blue, and you can't mix any colors to make red. That's why I call them the magic family. They're the primary family, the very first one, because what makes them magic? When you mix them together, that's when the magic happens. You can create any color in the rainbow if you mix them in different ways. So here, there's only 2 of the 3 primary colors. There's yellow and blue. And so my hand was on the yellow and the blue, and I was painting and I accidentally smudged it right there. And what did that yellow and blue turn into? The secondary color, green. Okay, so now that we've talked about the colors, what do you guys see? Does it look like anything to you? Let's look at it this way. You see anything there? You know, here it almost looks like the wind is blowing, or the flame, or if you guys have seen Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, there's that bush kind of going up and then the blue sky in the background. Looks like the beginning of a painting to me. How about this way? Maybe a flag waving around. What about this? Okay, you ready to see what they turned it into? I wonder what you guys came up with. Let's see what they turned it into. Okay, hold on. Look at it again. Now let's see what they did. They turned that yellow smudge and the green smear into a fish. The green smear part is what? The mouth of the fish. And that's the body. They outlined it. They added fins. They added the tail. They added the gills. They added the eyes. What's this? They added to the smudge and the smear. So can we do that? If we have a mistake, can we add to it to turn into something else? Absolutely. So they added a fishing pole with a line. And what's at the end of the line? There's that worm. That fish is about to get hungry and eat that worm. And who is holding the fishing pole? What did they do with those blue smears? It looks like the nose and the eyes and the mouth of a bunny rabbit. Pretty creative. So a smudge and a smear can make magic appear. Okay, let's see what's next. A stain. So when it's cold outside, I like to have myself a cup of, what is that, with the marshmallows inside? Hot cocoa? But look what happened here. It spilled around the cup. So I'm going to talk a little bit about positive and negative space. Do you see that? Oh, the cup was sitting on the table and it spilled around it. So the spill around it is the positive space. Where the cup was sitting, protecting that table, protecting this paper, that now has created a shape, that's called the negative space. So what do you see in this negative space? What does it look like to you? Kind of looks, so this big brown stain looks like a circle, right? This has that same kind of curvy line, and then there's a smaller curvy line. So what do you think it could be? Let's look at it this way. Does it look different there? How about this way? This way? You know, could be a moon. Could be like somebody ate a piece of a cookie. Because you know cookies go good with hot cocoa. Let's see what they turned it into. You ready? Oh, what is it? Ribbit. They turned it into a frog. So this outside part is the body. This little line is the mouth, and what's coming out? The tongue to catch what? What do you think it's going to catch? Maybe a fly. So a stain has potential if you play with its shape. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, let's see what's next. Holes. Holes in your paper are worth exploring. So I know when we're coloring and we get super duper excited, or when we're painting and I tell you guys, if you go over that spot too many times, what's gonna happen? You're gonna make a hole. And sometimes we can't help ourselves. We're just so excited. We want to put lots of paint, paper, and colors on that paper, and we make a hole. So now that we've made a hole, it's our paper, it belongs to us. What can we turn it into? So sometimes holes are worth exploring. So this is going to be a little interesting because this actually accordions out. Oh, do you see all those colors? You see that? Oh, look. That's an actually really good view, because normally when you would be in class, you would go right through here, and I think you can kind of see it that way, but I think if I do this, you can see it better. So look at it. Look, it's all the way inside that hole. I see a little creature with 4 legs. It looks like 2 antennas or ears and a horn and a tail. What could that be? I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a creature like that, but you know what? It could be a creature that you created with your imagination. Could it be a bug? Could it be, oh, remember we had that beetle in our classroom in the stream room that had the horn? What was it called? What was it called? The Hercules beetle. And it had that horn. That thing was big. So sometimes holes are worth exploring. All right, we're almost done, guys. When you think that you've made a mistake. So I know, and I have seen myself in kids and grown-ups, when we make a mistake and we get really frustrated, and that frustration turns into anger, and we take our pen and we're just really, really hard and make those hard lines. You can see the emotion in those lines. Those look like really frustrated, angry lines. But again, this is your paper. It belongs to you. It cannot go in the trash. So you've made this line, you've committed, and Miss Marilise took all the erasers away. So what are you going to turn it into? Let's see. They drew a flower coming out of it. Where do flowers grow? They grow in the ground, in the soil. And what do you normally see coming out of the ground and the soil around flowers? And it's green. Grass. So those lines with lots of energy and lots of feelings turned into grass. So when you think you've made a mistake or an oops, think of it as an opportunity to make something beautiful. See that? All of these were, at the beginning, a mistake. A torn piece of paper, remember his mouth? A bent piece of paper, remember his face? Sometimes we want to just crumple up the paper and throw it away, but look, what did we turn that into? The body of an animal. The spill with the puppies and the penguins and the elephant. All that came of one shape. That was really amazing. The little drip, the smudge, the tear, the stain. So all these things came out of mistakes. So as we continue in art and even in life, grown-ups, I have to remind myself that too. Sometimes when things don't turn out the way you want them to, you have to think of what you can do with what you got. Say, okay, I made my mistake. What can I turn it into? So for our next lesson, we're gonna see what kind of art we can create with things around the house. Because you don't always need paint or markers or special art supplies to create paint. You can create art with anything. I'll see you guys later. I love you. Have an artsy day. Bye.